4 ways to improve your sports performance in 4 minutes. Number 1, start doing some strength training. Aside from the numerous benefits to your health that have been shown through strength training, there's an overwhelming number of research papers that show improved sports performance with strength training as well. That's anything from your golf drive distance, to your tennis serve, to your jump height, to your sprint speed, concussion resilience, injury resilience, change of direction ability. All of these things are shown to improve if you get stronger in a way that transfers to the activities you're trying to do. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, you don't have to be a power lifter, you don't need to be doing your 1 repetition maximum every time you pick up a barbell, but you do just need to start doing some resistance training and gradually progressing the lifts once you've mastered the basics. Point number 2, the thing that is most closely related to your sports performance is the amount of high quality practice you get in your sport. Anything that detracts from the quality of the practice and the training you're doing for your sport needs to be considered very carefully, and you need to find a solution if possible. I'm talking about anything from poor sleep quality and quantity, to forgetting to eat, to spending too much time in the gym or doing workouts that are fatiguing you too much for when you go into your sports practice. Any of these things can detract from your performance and your practice, and they need to be considered and dealt with as soon as possible. I've been working with athletes in a strength and conditioning sense since 2011, and one of the main rules I've always had with the programs I design is that the strength and conditioning work we do in the gym can't have a carry-on effect over to the sporting practice, and that means I'm trying not to make people overly sore or overly tired if they have sporting practice in the next day or 2 after training with me. Point number 3 is to have some structure to your conditioning work. Lots of people follow the logic that because their sport gets them hot and sweaty and out of breath, that any additional cardio work that they do is fine so long as it also gets them hot, sweaty and out of breath. However, we need to be a little bit more specific than just beasting ourselves in the gym. There are a number of different things that can limit our performance in cardiovascular activities, and we need to try and address those when we're designing our training. We also have a number of different energy systems, and we need to target the ones that most closely will benefit us in our sport. Asking yourself these questions should help you decide what kind of conditioning work you need to do. When you work hard in your sport, are you reaching a level of systemic fatigue where the whole body is tired and you're out of breath and you can't sustain your performance? Or is it local fatigue where one individual muscle or joint is overly fatigued and you can't sustain your activity because of that one limiting area? Also ask yourself, how long are the periods that you have to work for, and how much rest do you get after those periods of work as well, and how long is the overall duration of the activity you're doing? Once you have the answers to those questions, you'll start to get a clearer sense about what kind of training you need to do. Tip number 4 is that sometimes less is more. In all my time training, both in gyms and in kickboxing, I've been surrounded by people that train 5 days a week, have 2-hour gym sessions and are just non-stop committed to working out. However, my clients and I are able to still get good results in the gym and in our sporting endeavours with a much smaller amount of training. Personally, I only normally train for about 1 hour each time I train, and I'll train 3 to 4 times a week in the gym with 1 session of kickboxing at the moment, going up to 2 when I have a competition coming up. That may not sound like much of a reduction, but when you add it up over a week, it means I'm probably training about half to 3/4 the amount of some of the people that I train with. The reason why I'm still able to set personal bests and be competitive on a much smaller amount of training is that when I train, I am fully focused to that training session. I time my rest periods so that I don't rest too long between sets, and I try not to spend too much time chatting to people and kind of hanging out with people in the middle of my session. That might make me a little bit unsociable, but it means that the time that I spend training is fully focused on what I need to do. I also try to go through each session keeping in mind what it is I'm looking to achieve, because when I look at my training session through that lens, then I've got a really good understanding of why I'm doing the things that I'm doing and how I can execute those in the most effective way for that goal. I think sometimes that training less actually forces you to be a bit more focused. Because I only have a limited time to get the training done that I need to do, I know that I don't have any time to waste, and I think that kind of incentivizes me to focus a little bit more. I forgot to mention as well, if you're interested in learning more about that last point about improving your focus in the gym, I have written a blog on that previously, so I'll put a link to that in the description below, so feel free to go and check that out. So that's been 4 tips to help you improve your performance. Hopefully you're using some of those already, but hopefully there's also 1 or 2 things there that you can implement in the future. If you're interested in more videos like these, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, all the usual YouTube stuff, and let me know what else you would like to see me talk about in the comments. See you next time.